Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're going to fill the last space on our run of shops above the subway station. Right about here. Now the shop I've chosen for this space is the Sport Shop from the set 60203, the ski resort that was released relatively recently, and I thought that would be a really good but slightly different addition to the area. I didn't like the whole set of the ski resort in that I didn't really need the sort of chalet style ski rescue centre and all the rest of it. So I just went on eBay and bought just this shop from somebody who was splitting their set, which is much appreciated. Now, I had thought that this would go in line with all the other ones and therefore be in about this position, but you can see that already my rack for my snowboards is getting very near the edge of this boundary, and I don't want people to start falling off, even though established watchers all know that this is a cutaway and therefore it isn't just a drop. The pavement would continue on, but it still looks a bit weird, I think. Then it dawned on me that this shop's actually only 6 deep. Also, that I had a bit more space behind this one because it doesn't need to avoid the tram line on account of it being relatively short. So therefore, I could push this arguably way back and avoid cramping the pavement area at the front. So I've decided on a compromise just to have the front only one stud back, but also to do something about this lip. Now, although the majority of people are happy with this being a cutaway and therefore not a drop, they're not entirely comfortable with the look of this edge, given that we've got the light bluish grey plate, then the reddish brown plate, the base plate, which leaves that sort of relatively unsightly groove in between, but it is necessary because the back of these base plates are resting on tables, and then obviously the tile for the pavement layer. And I was just playing around with thinking about how this ski shop was going to work, and I figured I could do something very simple but very effective by just taking off this first line of tiles. I could then replace them with exactly the same thing, but with 2 deep tiles. Now, you may think, well, hold on, they're just going to hang off and look weird. But you can put them down quite firmly and they're attached quite firmly. And I think that when that's done the whole way along, that looks a lot better because it sort of almost adds a more obvious cutaway edge to the subway and also conceals what is arguably the worst element of it, this sort of semi-exposed area where base plate meets plate. So I think I'm going to do that, and in doing so, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'll give myself a lot more room in front of my ski shop, but also hide that unsightly gap. Right, I've done that all the way along now, and arguably that gives us a lot more valuable space, as well as matching the other side where it actually was 1 deeper because it overlapped with a wall on the marina base plates. I like it. So before we start getting into the detail of this shop and the modifications we're going to make, I think we need to look at the bigger picture. So sure, it's a lot shorter than the monorail tram line, so I don't think we need to worry about that at all. But 2 things. One, it's got this sort of snow type pattern to it. And obviously when it was in ski resort, that was genuine snow, presumably. But I still think here, with it being a snow sports shop, that it could still have, as part of its sort of facade, kind of fake snow, essentially. So I quite like that. I think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to probably add to it as well, but nonetheless, I think it's something that we don't have to get rid of. And the second macro decision, I think, was whether we make this even bigger, because the store's quite cramped as it is, and there's not really much room to put much else in it. And that's partially a factor of it being only 6 studs deep, including the windows and so on. And as you can see from the base plate that I've got already into the pavement there is room for it to be 8 deep. So what I intend on doing is actually extending this whole store back by 2 studs to make better use of the room. So yes, the front will be here, but the back of it will be here. And you can see that it's still very much in keeping with the area. So we're going to keep and augment the snow. We're going to add to the depth and therefore the contents of the inside. And then we're going to make a few other changes and then we can put it in position. Right, so the first thing is I think to extend it back. And for that I've got another just temporary 16 by 8 plate. And I'm going to take off the screen. And I'm not going to put the screen back actually, and some of you may think that's a mistake. But basically this is a huge sports TV and I just don't understand why that would be playing outside live on a high street. It might have been if there was a ski event going on in a ski resort, but not really in my city. And also I can use this very easily because I've got another pub planned, and that's going to be more of a sort of sports bar, sort of lager type pub. And I think that this will be the centerpiece of the main area of that pub. So I'm going to use that there. Now, what I want to do first of all is just break this kind of into a top half and a bottom half. So let's see if I can do that. Well, that went rather well. So for the top half, try and extend it without breaking too much off. Okay, so there's our top, just extended back, and it's got these 2 pins in, but so what. Now I thought I'd also augment the snow on the top, and I'm going to take off 2 of these 2 by 4 tiles and replace it with a more complicated setup. So I'm going to have a 1 by 4 tile and a 1 by 2 tile. And then I'm going to have an icicle, and the icicle is made out of a 1 by 1 modified plate with horizontal grabber and a unicorn horn in white. So Lego have done this on a couple of sets so far, so I just thought I'd copy that. So then you haven't just got sort of wide dribbles of icy snow, you've got narrow pinnacle ones as well. I'll put on a 2 by 2, and then I'll do similar sort of setup on the other side. And then, as I said before, it's not real snow. It's just fallen by coincidence on the snow shop. It's sort of fake snow that is part of their decor. So I think that looks a bit better. Now, the flags can either go on one of these 4 studs, or they can just go on the flat roof, or I may well remove them, but I'm going to put those to one side for now. I'll try not to forget them. And that's our top done. So now onto the bottom. Now for the lower floor, it's arguably a bit more simple, but then arguably a bit more complicated. So the front can all remain exactly the same, except for I thought I would use this opportunity to put in another rack for snowboards on the other side. So I'll replace 2 of these 1 by 2 modified plates with this setup, which is 2 bracket pieces with the fence piece on. So I'll do that to the front, but otherwise then it's unchanged. And then on the inside, we'll just get a heck of a lot more stock in. So I'm just going to use some more dark tan bricks with sort of white jumper plates on the top to hold more stock. And then I need to play with the walls. Now the walls are arguably the worst bit because I need to extend them along 2 more for obvious reasons. And I haven't got any more dark orange bricks whatsoever, not even one. Now on this side, we've already started in the original set using dark bluish grey, but I haven't got a great deal of those either. So what I've got quite a lot of is light bluish grey. So I thought I'll make the entire side walls not only 2 more deep, but I'll consistently make them light bluish grey. And with that in mind, I've got not only sort of an array of normal bricks, but I've got 1x2 modified bricks with the horizontal clip, a stack of 1x1s with the horizontal clip. I've got some 1x1s with the stud on the front, and even some headlight bricks as well. And they're all going to help me attach lots of stock to the walls. And the stock I've got are things like the snowboards I've been collecting, more skis from a recent brick haul, and even some more snow outfit pieces that I've just pieced together from odd brick hauls. This top was from a very recent brick haul. This is just a spare skater's sort of beanie hat. And these trousers I think I got from Pick a Brick in London, actually. But they've just got sort of knee pads, and I thought they looked a bit like sort of salopette type ski trousers. So lots to be going on with. Right, so I can get rid of the old plate, dark bluish grey modified bricks, and all those dark orange bricks. And now focus on building up both side walls in light bluish grey. Now, one of the other things I wanted to get included in this stock in this shop was these, which are the little ice skates that you get with the odd figure. Some of the Christmas sets and some of the series minifigures is where I got mine, like the little penguin boy and the actual official ice skater, figure skater. And I was wondering how to mount these, because they go obviously in the underside of a minifigure's foot, so they don't fit onto a stud on the side. Also, they don't fit onto a clip. So the only way I could think of actually mounting them into a wall was into the back of one of these headlight bricks. And if you push it firmly into the back of a headlight brick, you can see that the lip actually starts overlapping the top of the brick, and therefore you won't be able to build it into a wall. So I thought, well, that's not going to work either. So I started getting to ever more complicated ways of mounting these in my store. But then I had a brainwave, and with the same old brick but on its back, we can add the ice skate to the bottom of the headlight brick and still build it into a wall. So let me show you what I mean. So we actually say build that into a brick, and let's put its neighbour on. So we've got a pair of skates. So there we go, put the pair of skates in. So from the front, we've got what looks like kind of a shelf sticking out that can hold the skates very firmly. And then the wall can be built up both beneath and above without getting in the way of the overlap, because that overlap's already taken care of by the headlight brick. You see what I mean? And then this distance here from the back of the headlight brick to the top is just 2 plates rather than normal 3 making up a brick. So as long as we add a plate in, then it will become just part of the normal brick structure of the wall, which is very ingenious. And then as an added bonus, depending on how you look at it, the only problem remaining rather is that these studs are showing on the outside of the building, but we can put some sort of external feature on to cover those up, and therefore get the benefit of having kind of studs on the side type brick to hold a sign on the outside for free as part of that setup. So I'm going to build kind of like a ice skate rack as part of my wall, and I'm going to do that on this wall on the left as we look at it from the back. So that's sort of showing, so when we put a sign on, that's showing from the subway entrance. And then on this wall, I'm going to build it to basically hold more pairs of skis, snowboards and ski poles and all the rest of that good stuff. And then the mannequin, which is just made up, as I said, of pieces that I had going, and instead of a head, I've just put on a normal 1x1 round brick, not a clear head piece, but a clear 1x1 round brick, because I think that looks even less like a person and therefore more obviously like a mannequin. Good. I'm going to get on with that. And just another quick thought while we're there. This is probably the most ugly bit in the window, and you've got these snowshoes sort of atop a weird black piece on top of two clear round bricks. And I just realised that they could be mounted in the same way, exactly the same way as the ice skates. So it might be that I mount these on the wall inside on the headlight bricks as well, freeing up some useful window space for something a bit more good looking. So I think I've finished the first side. I was having a bit of trouble with this wall because the bit I had to fill in was essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide, and that meant I needed to have a lot of 1 long bricks or 3 long bricks, and I didn't have any. So essentially what I've done instead was add the boundary, like we've got the boundary at the top and arguably at the front, in tan. So I had a couple of the 1 by 1 by 5 bricks and a couple of others. So that's given it a nice sort of back edge as well. And it's just made this an even number that was easier to fill. So on the inside, let me get rid of the column from the other side so you can see it a bit better. I've done a couple of pairs of skis just on 1 by 1 modified bricks with the clip on. And then I've got that column, let me remove him and his till as well, of ice skates on headlight bricks and a pair of the snowshoes on the headlight bricks. And because I've managed to get 3 of those in on their backs, that's 2 plates, 4 plates, 6 plates of height, which is actually 2 whole bricks. So I haven't had to actually add any plates in as spacers to make that work either. So it actually is a lot neater than it could have been. And then on the outside, I've just basically got a sticker from a set which says the Lego News Daily. So obviously for a newspaper, and that's actually from the service station set 60132. And I can put that onto 4 of those studs that were showing from the side on headlight bricks and cover them very cleanly like that, and you wouldn't even know. And I was thinking for the remaining pair that are down there, I could kind of just put on a side vent because no building's going to be coming up to this wall. So that looks incredibly natural if you ask me, so I'm really happy with that. And you can see in the front I've put on that second rack. So yeah, 1 wall down, lots more stock and a lot more room inside. So I'm really happy with how this is going. So I'm going to do the second wall and then I can add back the till and the mannequin and I think we'll be there. And then for the second wall, I've just restored the skis but pushed them towards the left, added some ski poles, except I put in some green ones that were from the Fun Outdoors set rather than the grey ones because they look a bit more bright. And then a pair of snowboards with the extreme stickers on at a sort of jaunty diagonal angle, which is usually how you see them, I think. So they look very attractive on that wall. And we've got the tan outline again and just a plain wall to face the other shop. Then just to finish that, I think we can put the till in with the man who works in the shop. And then I've just mounted the mannequin on a dark tan block with white top, just so it matches all the other ones. Have that facing that way. Oh, and I've also added in a normal sort of crash hat, just because that's another type that's not on show so far, on that one that we freed up with the snowshoes that are down here. Right, so then we've got our store. We can put our roof back on, which will hold all those walls in place. And it's looking very similar, but a lot deeper. And as we know, the inside is a lot more packed and stacked. So I'm very happy with that. Now, I've got 3 more snowboards, but as you may notice, everything is either this orangey yellow or lime green. We've got 1, 2 if you include the sign, 3, 4 in there. They're all the same, and that's a bit annoying. Now, the only other ones I've got are from the 2 Snowboarder series minifigures. So we've got the Lady Snowboarder with her dark blue one, and that's she's from series 3. And then from Series 5 is the male snowboarder. And he's got this really nice white one with light blue on it. So I thought they wouldn't mind just swapping. So if I give the male one this one that I got in the Pick-a-Brick, or Pick-a-Minifigure rather, in London, which is rather funky, and I give her a straight swap, same pattern, but just keep her dark blue one and give her the orange one. And incidentally, I plan on using both of these two at my airport, either waiting to go skiing or just having got back from skiing. And that gives me a much greater assortment of colours to put in the racks outside, which looks very good fun as well. And then last but not least, I'm going to have a customer just leaving, and this is the downhill skier from Series 8, and she's very good with her lovely goggles on and so on, and her ski outfit. Why she's wearing that to go shopping for ski equipment, I've got no idea, but you know, hey ho. And then I'm thinking she's just bought a pair of ski poles, and these are the grey ones from the set, and if you just use the groove that's on each of them, on the round bit on the bottom, to line them up like that, so they're kind of holding on to each other, then you can actually get a minifigure hand around them. I'm just going to do this slightly off camera because it's hard to do everything at the same time. Yep, there we go. So you see, much like the snowshoes and the flippers and everything else, these are actually designed so if you get a pair of them together, you can actually get a minifigure to hold them, and they're quite secure. It's not a sort of balancing act that I've done. I assume it's designed like that, but you can see there how it's working. They're just sort of squeezed together using that notch in the round bit at the bottom, which isn't a million miles from how you actually stack them together in real life. So there we are. So I can have her leaving the store, and then I think we're there. Okay, and there it is in position. I've also put a rubbish bin or trash can down the alley like I have between the other stores, just to keep that theme going, so the bin lorry can be driving along the street behind and go up the alleys and get the bins, so that's fun. And there's the downhill skier coming out of the store with her new ski poles, so I like that as well. And I think there's plenty of room to get in front of the store, so much so that I think I can use the for sale sign, which is saying sale on snowboards and on all the other equipment, in fact. And I can just remove one of the 1x2, or rather 2x2 tiles, and just put that straight in. And I think that looks even better. And there's still space, but not too much. But I like it quite busy. But still space for minifigures to get round. And I think it really adds to the scene. I do like the snowboards outside. I do like this sort of wooden thing and this sort of fake snow and our icicles, even the ones we added. I think that really works. And it's a good contrast to the stores down the road because they're all clear glass and this is this sort of translight blue and so on. And these are quite high and this is quite low. So yeah, I think it really fits as a nice end piece. But I think we can do better. I think for a start we can add back a couple of these flags. Just, I don't know exactly where I want to put them yet, but I'll say put them there and there, so they're symmetrical. That looks quite fun, and I think we can still do better. And for those of you who thought the piece that I was including from the last brick haul was the torso of the mannequin, you were right, but it wasn't the main one, because the main one's going to be, yes, the Yeti. Now, why on earth would you not have a 3D Yeti sign on top of your winter sports shop? I ask you. So that's what we're doing. And for those who didn't watch the brick haul, yes, this is actual Lego from the Yeti Hideout set, 7412. And I think you'll agree, he looks rather fantastic. I was toying with the idea of giving him some snowboards to wield in each hand, but I kind of thought we had enough already, and if we had a bit more, I'd probably put them in the racks outside, to be honest. But I still think he looks absolutely fabulous. And if you think about the run of shops as a whole, off towards the left, we've started that run with a bike shop with a 3D sign, but then on this exact run of shops, a massive 3D donut. So to have a 3D donut on one end and a massive 3D Yeti on the other end just seems absolutely right to me. Anyway, all of this is way clear of the tram line, and that's the most important thing. The thing I like most about this shop is it's really bright colours. We've got blue, flame yellow orange, the red on the sign outside, this white. It all looks really good if you ask me. So there's our complete run of shops all the way to Market Square. So we've got the bike shop, the donut fancy shop, our exotic pet shop, the Lego store, TV and game store, and our new Yeti sport shop. Fantastic. And you may have noticed just behind, the vehicle of the day to populate our roads is this Octane Energy tanker. And that's the tanker truck set 60016 from 2013. And it's, well, it's quite basic in a way, but it's fantastic, I think. It looks exactly like it would in real life. And the Octane colour scheme has always been a firm favourite of mine, with that deep band of green, thin band of red, and then the white. So that's a very welcome addition. So we have now completed our run of shops above the subway station. And it's looking pretty complete over here. And there are a few holes over there on that side of the road. And there's a couple of spaces on that side of the road over there. But now on this side we've got, well, how many levels? Subway 1, Marina 2, Shops 3, next Shops 4, Castle 5. It's just the way I like it. Lots and lots and lots to look at. And I just love that Yeti. It makes me smile every time I see it, so that's definitely staying. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to Robin Hood Bricks for more awesome LEGO videos. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, I think we're going to do it. We're going to start Modular Mondays. So that will be a series of, well, quite a few Mondays, I think, of building my first complete MOC modular building. So a 32 by 32 base plate, multi-story, multi-business, commercial building. So I think it should be really fun. And I've never built this myself. I have designed it, obviously, but I haven't built it. So it'd be very interesting for me to see it as well. So see you then.